Hey, so I just wanted to use this time to go over a couple things that I do when I'm on my moon cycle. Well, we're on our moon cycle all the time, but we go through the cycle like the moon goes through the phases. Women also go through phases during their cycle. And because I'm on my period at the moment, and I know it sounds so harsh to say it, but it's the truth, that we're all women, right? So just being on my period, I thought of a couple things that I wanted to share while I'm on my period, while you're on your period, to help you with easing the pain and or the cramping or the bleeding and things like that. Because I am someone who has had PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome, since I was 16 years old. I was diagnosed with that. And it's been pretty much of a roller coaster of a ride as it in my adult life with it, dealing with it, also helping myself work through the emotions that come with it. Now, if you're a woman, you know what I'm saying. When we get to our PMS stage of our cycle, which is usually about a week before my bleed, I end up having those emotional roller coaster, those feelings like you really can't regulate. Like, where did the hope go? Why is there no hope? And I feel like it's just so blah. So what I do, and I hope that this can help you as you listen, what I take are some herbs that have really helped me. And for someone that has been dealing with PMDD, all these acronyms that you may not know and are familiar with, they have to do with a woman's cycle and her hormones. And pretty much my hormones are a little bit wackier than most. When I say most females, that's what I mean. And so I take a couple herbs. I have been on medicine. I have been through the whole pharmaceutical phase of my life, and just being in someone like wanting to do the research to learn how to cope with some things that more of a natural way versus getting the side effects from medication. So being on Prozac, I got off Prozac. Doctor helped me with that. I weaned off appropriately, so I'm not telling anyone to just jump off your medicine, and I'm not saying that that industry is bad. It's a good thing. It's sometimes good to regulate, to get yourself to a place where you can then research natural ways to potentially wean off your medicine. So a couple of the herbs that have helped me with my emotions and my hormones the week before my bleed have been ashwagandha. Go ahead and look it up. Ashwagandha is a very versatile herb, so it's good for a lot of things, but particularly mood regulation, sleep. Lemon balm, so good for that. Lemon balm is so relaxing, and I think it's underrated. A lot of people use it in their teas, but those are like watered down herbs that are dried, and they're medicinal. Like if you're buying it at the store, there's really no medicinal purposes or medicinal medicine left in the herb. It's pretty dry, it's old. So I recommend sourcing through a couple different that I'll drop into the description. I'll drop a couple of my different companies that I source with my herbs. The lemon balm, super great for relaxation. What else do I use? I use passion flower. Passion flower is great for just your nerves. Tulsi relaxes you. Chamomile, lavender, all those things that you've probably heard about. Those are great about a week before. But using them in tincture form, I highly recommend. I know a lot of people use tea form, and that's great. But when you tincture up an herb in alcohol, 100 proof alcohol, for about 6 weeks, the way it pulls the extracts, the medicinal plant matter, is so strong. So it's an extract. So you're taking like a full-blown punch when you're taking like a dropper. And so I recommend those herbs in tincture form as well, because they are much more potent. And you'll notice, for me, when I put a few of those herbs together, I've made a combination tincture. And when I take a dropper of that, I feel, so someone who has not been using alcohol now for a year and a half, I've been sober for a year and a half, I know what it's like to want to go out. When I used to go out, when being an introvert, I would pregame. And what I like in this dropper too is that you feel like you had 2 drinks and you're good to go. Not too much, not too little. It's just a really good relaxation. And that's what lemon balm, ashwagandha, milky oats, and passion flower together will do. And that's a great thing to do, right? So use that about a week before you get your bleed and just help yourself like glide through those emotional roller coasters, right? Just kind of glide through, go with the flow. And then when I'm on my bleed, what I like to do is take not only ginger, so any form of ginger, whether it's dried, you can infuse it in honey. It's really good for inflammation, so anti-inflammatory, helps with nausea, perfect for when you're cramping, perfect when you're on your bleed. But one herb I think that is kind of underrated and not really talked about is red raspberry leaf. So red raspberry leaf is really good, and I'm going to read just a couple things because I don't have this all memorized. This is why it's so important. Just do your own research and make some notes. You don't have to memorize this stuff. You could just put it in a book and go back and look at it. But a couple of the things about red raspberry leaf, it helps tone the uterus, which reduces heavy bleeding. It's rich with iron and helps with energy levels. Has a ton of minerals in it. Also, the other herb that I really like that you probably can't just buy anywhere is willow bark. And willow bark has silicium. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'll put it in the description and you guys can look it up. It's similar to aspirin. So it's anti-inflammatory and pain relieving. Many use it for headaches and to ease cramps and other discomfort. So willow bark, definitely recommend it. But honestly, my main go-to is ginger. I just love the warm feeling it gives my tummy. Dry it, dehydrate it, whatever you want to do, take it in tea form. I love ginger. And those are a few just herbs that help me during my moon cycle to help me not only have to rely on my medicine. I can now go to my herbs and I know which ones to specifically use about a week, start using about a week before, and then within that same week, I give my body just the time to rest. I think what we've learned in society, and I'm going to be quick about this and then we'll be done. But in society teaches us to go, right? Where back in the day, we'll go in the biblical days, right? The women weren't kicked out of the camps. They left the camps to go to another camp. I would like to call it a spa, which probably wasn't the case back then. But they went with their flow. They didn't try to fight against the grain and go and be this boss babe. So what I've learned to do is go with the flow. Go with the flow in my moon cycle to go with that flow. And sometimes we're all out. We're doing everything, right? And then there's times to rest. And truly rest means to not only be intentional, but think ahead. No, okay, it's about a week before my bleed. I'm going to start taking willow bark and red raspberry leaf. I'm going to give myself a bath. I'm going to relax. I'm going to maybe not work out so hard today, but give your body that time to bleed, because when you're bleeding, it's a lot. It's taking a lot on your body. So without more going into depth about more things, I just wanted to share a few things that have helped me during my moon phase, and I hope it's helped you too. Thanks for listening.
Now, one of the teas I had mentioned was raspberry leaf tea, red raspberry leaf tea. It's just as the title sounds. It's perfect for your period. It's the only tea that the sole benefit is described as helping women have better periods. I did not know about this before I obviously started my research. If all other teas fail, I don't think this one will. But again, you have to find something that works for you. Raspberry leaf tea is exactly what it sounds like. It's the leaves from a raspberry plant packed with different compounds that help us in our period, in our moon cycle. Raspberry leaf tea contains tannins, which help with PMS symptoms like cramping, vomiting, diarrhea, nausea. But it also helps balance our hormones, alleviating major PMS mood swings, which I tend to have. I think I'm not the only woman though. It also is a period cramp tea, so like chamomile, it's a muscle relaxer, and it can reduce that uterine contractions. You'll want to drink this during your period before maybe 2-3 times a day during your period to lessen and reduce those cramps. So there's another thing I like to do is make my place smell homey and inviting. And during this time of the year with all the sicknesses going around, I like to make different combinations, but specifically with eucalyptus, cinnamon, lemon, and another great black spruce is also great for scents during this time. But I love balsam fir. It just makes the house smell such like Christmas, and I love the sense of holidays. So it helps during that time of your moon cycle to lift your spirits and your mood. So I highly recommend having a diffuser in your house, getting some of those essential oils, filling the air with these yummy scents of the holiday season. Not only that, but you can clear up your nasal passages depending on what you do put in your diffuser. So I hope this helped today, and I really enjoy talking about the moon cycle and all the things that can help a woman during that time, especially during that time of the month where you're feeling all those emotions. Fill up your air with something smelling beautiful, get a cup of tea, and curl up by the fireplace and enjoy the holiday season, everyone. Thank you for listening, and come back soon.